Hey Ottawa, this is your Monday market snapshot for the Ottawa real estate market for Monday, September 11th, 2023. This week I'm just going to be going over the first week in September stuff. So if you're looking for details on what the Ottawa Real Estate Board or the month-end stats for August were, check back. I released a video just a couple days ago which had the month-to-month and year-over-year stats and all the charts and everything from the board as well. My name is Annalee Rice, and I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario with Royal LePage, and every week I bring you the details on what's going on in the Ottawa real estate market. Let's go. Okay, first off, citywide, we see that there is a huge jump of active listings this week. The listings are up by over 7% across the city, most notably in the detached and the condo markets, slightly less, about 5% in the townhome market. Sales are down slightly this week, which is totally to be expected with us having just had the long weekend and the, slow end of summer, that kind of stuff. Okay, so when we look in graph form, we can see the active listings and it's on its upward trajectory that we've seen over the last couple months. It almost looks like the last week's dip was a little blip. It makes sense. There was lots of things that contributed to the active listings dropping off last week. We had a long weekend, the end of summer, kids going back to school, and just the end of the month, everything like that contributes to lots of listings coming off. Plus, there's always the hope or the expectation that there'll be a bit of a fall market and lots of homes get held and not listed in the last week or so, and then listed the first week or second week of September to try and hit that fall market. Now, the sales being down, you see that the red line is lower this week. That's also to be expected because of the long weekend, the end of summer, all the same things. Remember that my stats include from Monday through till Sunday. So Monday was part of the long weekend. So that totally makes sense. I do expect it to climb up. And the fact that the number of conditional sales, that's the orange line, climbed this week and is quite a bit higher than the sales this week. We'll see a climb in the number of sales next week for sure, next couple weeks. Okay, so when we look at the actual number of new listings and break it all down, there were 445 properties that were listed this week. It's a huge leap from what we saw recently. So the last time we saw that many properties listed was mid-June. And of those properties that were listed, 70% or 311 were new to the market properties, and 30% or 134 were relisted properties. So the ratio is a bit heavy on the relists, but that's again from all those reasons about the end of the month, the fall market, long weekends, such things like that. So a lot of properties just get refreshed and relisted at the beginning of the month and the beginning of what's hopefully a new fall market. And it's interesting, that's the first time that we've seen sales below the relist. It's the first time those lines have crossed. Okay, so of the homes that sold this past week, 22% of those homes sold with no conditional period. And of the properties that sold this week, 11% were on the market for 7 days or less. That's quite a bit lower than what we've seen normally. It's usually up in the 15 to 20% range. And 57% of those properties selling within the week sold with no conditions. Of the properties that sold this week, 59% of those homes had sold within 30 days or less. Okay, let's zoom in to see what we've got for the different areas of the city. When we look at central urban region, we see that the listings are up across the board, but hardly at all for townhomes. It was mostly detached and absolutely a lot of condominiums coming to the market this week. For sales, property sales for detached and towns were actually up, and condos were quite low this past week, down 9. In Canada and Stittsville, the active listings are up, but again, mostly detached, a little bit in the condos, and it was flat for the townhomes. Sales were quite flat, detached down just slightly, condos and towns up slightly. In Barrhaven and Riverside South, I think everybody was just enjoying their first week back at school or whatever. We've got the detached listings and towns climbing. steady for the condo, but sales were very flat. So only a decrease in sales across the board for types of properties across Barrhaven and Riverside South. And in Orleans, we had the active listings jump across property types, just small increases, and sales were down for detached and towns and up slightly for condos. As always, I've got the full data in table form if you'd like to see what the average prices are across the different regions and how many sales are in each region. And the townhomes, and of course the condominiums. Okay, so that was it for today. It's a pretty quick update. We are moving into what everybody hopes with the fall market, and with interest rates holding steady, hopefully there'll be a little bit more confidence in this fall market, and maybe we'll see sales picking up. If you have any questions, please let me know, leave a comment, get in touch if you would like to see anything else in my weekly updates. And remember to go back and check the month-end stats if you want to see how August fared as compared to past Augusts and month to month. I hope you have a great week.